If you combine a clear intention with an elevated emotion, a coherent heart, you literally begin to move the brain and body out of the past into a new future. And so do that enough times, the way you think and the way you feel begins to create a state of being. So if you begin to push the genetic buttons or upregulate genes for health, and you downregulate the gene for disease, well, what do genes do? They make proteins, and proteins are responsible for the structure and function of your body. And the expression of proteins is the expression of life, and the innate intelligence of the body says, hey, we're in an environment where we can heal, and the body has a natural propensity to want to move back into homeostasis, move back into balance. So then the person is literally changing their state of being. How you think and how you feel is your state of being. So the person goes from literally being somebody that was riddled with a disease to changing the way they think and feel, and her brain and body looks like the healing has already occurred, and she's not waiting for the healing to occur to feel the emotion. She's feeling the emotion and she's living the experience ahead of it. And if we do it properly, our biology literally begins to change. The stronger the emotion that we feel from some problem, some condition, some event in our life, the more altered we feel inside of us, the more we pay attention to the cause, and the brain freezes a frame and takes a snapshot, and that's called a long-term memory. Well, what about the inward process? The stronger the emotion the person feels from an inward experience, the more she remembers the picture in their mind, and you begin to brand that circuitry in your brain, and in a sense, you're remembering your future in the same way that you remember your past. Now, thinking neurologically within those circuits and feeling in the emotions of the future before it happens is the task. Because many people come back to their senses and they say, I'm not healed, it didn't work. Well, you're not that good. It takes time and it takes repetition until you condition the body to the mind of that emotion. And all you need is a thought and a feeling, an image and an emotion, a stimulus and a response, and you start the conditioning process. And if you do it enough times, you'll never be wondering why you haven't healed, because you'll feel like you already are healed. The moment you start feeling the other emotions, you're back to the old self, looking for when it's going to happen and where it's going to happen. If you feel the emotion, you feel like it already happens, you wouldn't be separate from the experience, so there's nowhere to look for it. So then the task is to maintain that modified state of mind and body your entire day with your eyes open. And that's when we get really good at becoming somebody else. We really think that everything's going to be handed to us, or we can get whatever we want. Nothing wrong with that. That's really cool. That's really great. But in the creative process, you actually have to get outside of time in order for you to be able to create. Because if you're trying to predict what's going to happen in the next moment, if you keep romancing what happened, you're not in the present moment. The familiar past is the known. The predictable future is the known. The present moment is the unknown. That is where all possibilities exist. So that energy is actually endorsing whoever you want to be. That's what I believe. So if you want to be a victim, get ready, because it's going to get really good for you. Because that energy is more available. If you want to heal, wow, there's a lot of people healing now, and they're using that energy instrumentally in a positive way. You actually have to be relaxed and awake instead of stressed out and unconscious. And we have the data to show that when you're relaxed and awake, amazing things can actually happen to you instead of in survival, stressed out and in a program. So in order to create out something new, we got to be in the present moment, and we have to be outside that pace of where everything's moving very quickly. And technology, unfortunately, is causing people, it's causing people to think instead of them. I never tell people what to think. I want them to think for themselves. I think it's really important for us to think for ourselves. So master the moment and learn how to be a creator. I think that amazing things happen, and that's exactly what we're discovering over and over again, and just witnessing the science is absolutely supporting that you are greater than you think, more
powerful than you know, more unlimited than you can ever dream. We have the data over and over again that suggests that. And the testimonials that we have in hundreds of people. We have cancer researchers standing on the stage with cancer completely gone. We see stage 4 cancers in bones and organs and liver and lungs. Metastatic cancer just doesn't typically go away very easily. And out of the bones, there's no sign of it anywhere.
The more you become familiar with how you feel in changing that state of being, the easier it will be for you to do it with your eyes open as well as your eyes closed. And if you go back to the old state of being, there's a good probability that your pain or your condition will come back. So there's this kind of waltz that goes on when people are learning how to heal and change. They take a few steps forward and then a few steps back, and then 3 steps forward and only 1 step back. And they got to practice self-regulating. They got to practice what they're paying attention to, what they're unconscious of. And if you stay with it for a long enough period of time, all of a sudden now the person reaches a point, we've measured what happens, where their chemistry changes so dramatically that they're literally in love with life. Nitric oxide signals a chemical called endothelial-derived relaxing factor, and that's a big word or set of words. It just means a chemical that signals the arteries in your heart to literally expand. And when they expand, you're getting more blood flow in there. And just like when your sexual organs are aroused and there's blood flow in there, now with the same intensity, you're gonna feel it right in your heart, and it's gonna be way bigger. And now the person's heart is wide open. So here's the question. Do you think they're gonna wanna judge somebody else in that moment? You think they're gonna wanna hold a grudge? They're not gonna try to forgive. They're gonna feel so amazing, they're not gonna wanna lose this feeling, and they're just gonna say, I forgive you. I'm not gonna give this feeling up because of you. Now that's the side effect of true transformation. If you keep your conscious mind on what you want, your subconscious mind will take you there, period. Well, if you are in the process of taking time out of your busy life to emulate the divine, to emulate the creator, then you can't be a victim if you're creating. In order to create something unlimited, you have to feel unlimited. In order for you to emulate the divine, you have to become divine. In order for you to be a creator, you must feel like a creator. Now let me finish. Because this is an important element, because if you took time out of your busy life every single day to allow that intelligence to work with you, it's both personal and universal, within you and all around you, and you made contact with it, it's all around us, but we can't use our senses to experience it. Then if you said to this intelligence, okay, look, I took time out of my busy life today to be like you, I'm a child of you, and I want to be like you, and so I want to create something new in my life. I want you to bring it in a way that I least expect. Why? Because if you can expect it, it's nothing new. It's got to be a surprise. It's got to rock your world. It's got to catch you off guard, and it has to leave no doubt that what you did inside of you produced that effect outside of you. And when you can correlate the changes you made inside of you with the effect that you produced outside of you, you'll pay attention to what you did and you'll do it again. So the synchronicities, the serendipities, the coincidences are then begin to come back to us, and it's those things that capture our attention, and we get a little rush of energy. And that little rush of energy should be that you're headed in the right direction to inspire you to continue creating.